Welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. I've been on the road for a few hours and I'm about to pick up my new tractor. So here it is. And I was out here just a few months ago. You all know Neil from Messick. How are you today, Neil?
Oh, not too bad.
Now, coincidentally, I just watched a video last night that you did. This was one of the tractors in that video.
Your tractor was one of the tractors in the video.
And surprisingly, people had picked up on that.
They really did. We didn't. Neither you or I have said a word that this was going to happen. And my goodness, the number of people in the comments that kind of thought this was your tractor was pretty funny.
I couldn't believe it. I was reading it. I'm like, how? I can't keep a secret about anything.
No.
But I have been clear how much I like the 4020, and that's what I decided to go with. And what can you tell us about this tractor, Neil?
This will be the easiest walk around I've probably ever done because you certainly know a lot about it. If you look historically about how tractors are developed and engineered over the years, it's unusual for tractor companies to make major changes to a machine, right? Usually it's little iterations here and there, but this one was different. This got a whole new rear end, which adds a lot of features and power and functionality in a small tractor like this.
Yeah, that's been my biggest thing, why I like this tractor. It's not a real big tractor, but you've got loads of horsepower. If you're brush hogging up a steep hill in low range, you're never lacking power with it.
Yeah, and it's always hard to, like, when you're looking at videos and that kind of stuff, to get a sense of scale of how big something is. To me, it's amazing. It's a 40 horsepower tractor, and I can sit here and lean my arms up on the hood.
Right.
It just gives you a sense of just how much power is in this small package.
Yeah. And so the big thing was, from the earlier LXs, the transmission's much quieter.
Yes.
Tons of power. I can't keep bringing that up enough, but that was one of the deciding factors for me on this machine.
Yeah, tons of power in a small footprint, right? And to a point, more power than what the tractor can necessarily put to the ground, right? But when you get into that kind of like PTO-driven stuff and that kind of thing, you're going to be pretty hard-pressed to find an implement that you can't manhandle with this tractor.
Right. Yeah, I ran a 6-foot tiller on my other 4020. No,
Yeah, you wouldn't even... Right.
Don't even know it's back.
You'll struggle, right, to find that implement that can really use it. Stump grinders, chippers, that kind of stuff is really ideal for a machine like this, that you can really work the PTO.
Now, did you put wheel spacers on this, or it comes with wheel spacers?
I put wheel spacers on it, and when we go through and we configure these things, anytime you have a cab with all this glass up high, I always like moving the tires out. There's cases where that can be tough with like a mid-mount mower and stuff. You can't always do it, but anytime that we can, that extra 1 3/8 that wheel spacer gives you,
world of difference.
It is. It seems like nothing on paper, but it really is a world of difference in the stability.
Now, compared to, like the loader on this sits a little bit wider.
Right. Yeah, so compared to the older LX series tractors, the front axle is wider, and because of that, the loader was able to get a little wider too. So we'll give you a little bit more stability, a little bit more resistance to torquing and that kind of stuff by having those arms out wider. And if you take your loader on and off, there's more space here in between the arms and make it easier to drive the tractor in and out.
And speaking of the loader, the other thing I liked about this model, the loader has a feel of a piece of construction equipment to me. It's very smooth, very reactive, but it's just smooth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like an add-on to a tractor. It feels more like a loader.
It's like I don't know how it's not, pet peeve's not the right word, but when you see people comparing tractors, it's so hard to articulate that feel.
Yeah.
And Kubota always does a great job in the way their loaders are balanced, right? It's a feel that you don't get from other equipment.
Open up that door over there. Wow, it's got that new tractor smell.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
I can pause that. The 540E, can you explain that?
So 540E is basically, think of it like a gear for your PTO. So because you have a 40 horsepower engine, if you're running an implement that, say, only needs 20 horsepower, you can shift into 540E, and that allows you to run your engine at lower RPMs, making less noise, saving some wear and tear on the engine potentially, but still giving you the 540 RPMs that you need for that rear implement.
Okay.
So yeah, not relevant to say like the 2620, where you'd have 26 horse at the engine. You need all of that power at the PTO.
Yeah.
But in a tractor like this that has so much available engine horsepower, it's a nice feature. Not something you normally find in small equipment. When we're up in big ag, this is a very typical feature. We see it a lot in 75 horsepower tractors and up, but not in small machines like this.
Yeah, and this has the auto throttle, so that comes standard. So when you step on hydrostatic, so when you step on the pedal, moving forward, the engine RPMs increase the more you push on the pedal. But as far as options go for this, we've got the third function, the wheel spacers, nice cool brush guard on the front. I like that.
Yeah, it's nice that they're doing that, especially for working around wood and that kind of stuff. Covers the front end of your tractor.
What other options? Rear tires are filled.
Tires are filled. We put a rear remote on.
Rear remote.
Do you have anything that's going to use that, or is that more of a future use?
Yeah, maybe a future use. I just figured. I think this is the last tractor I'm buying, Neil. I think it is. I really do. It took me years to get to this point, and this is what I have decided on. You know what I mean? This is perfect for what I do. Lift capacity is pretty good on this, but some of the wood I deal with is really big, and I have the big skid loader. You know what I mean? So that wasn't a concern for me. But yeah, the cabs are really nice in this. It's quiet. Once we get it home and get it unloaded, we'll go over it some more. But yeah, I'm glad I made the trip out here, Neil. Anything else we're missing on this?
Not that I would say. I'm trying to buy one myself.
Are you?
Yeah, I partly just to keep the current model in the videos.
Yeah.
But I'm excited too about the changes here that happened on this tractor.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like an upgrade from the prior models.
Yeah.
And yeah.
There's not a lot out there in this size with the capabilities that this has.
No, when you start looking at like the 540E and that kind of stuff, I mean, there's unique stuff here. And yeah, like I said, we get bored of new model launches sometimes because we took the old tractor and we put LED headlights on it, and we call it a new model. Not this one. This is legitimately cool stuff has happened here.
Other thing I really like is low, medium, and high in your hydrostat. I think that's very important. This one has a lot of horsepower, but I see a lot of tractors in that 26 horsepower range that just have a 2-range hydrostat transmission, and I don't think you have a real low. You know what I mean?
You don't have a real low, and whatever. I use all three.
Yeah, I do too.
Right,
I do too.
And there's functional mechanical reasons to having that there, and like you said, not all of the industry uses 3 ranges in this size tractor.
Yeah. I'm excited. Well, I appreciate it, Neil. Anything new at Messick's out here?
There's always new stuff happening around here.
Yeah.
The equipment comes and goes. Every time you stop by, it's always fun to walk around and check and see what other stuff is sitting out around here. But,
Yeah. Now, I'm going to put a link to Neil's channel in the description, and we did a video a while back, and I didn't know how special that was. I was the first one to ever do a video on kind of the inner workings of this place, was it?
We walk around and we look at the equipment a lot, but you and I spent some time actually walking through the shop and the parts department and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'll put that video down below. This place is amazing. It really is, and not just the size of it, but how it all runs and flows is incredible. That's really neat part about it.
A lot of fun to us to be able to show it off too. I mean, we always stop when viewers or whoever stop by the store to come take a look around. We're always ask for a tour, right?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Ask for a tour. Somebody will take 10 minutes and walk you through the back. It's if you like seeing how things work, it's an interesting, fun stop.
It really is. So I thought we were done talking to Neil, but we're not. I had to come back and see this. So you're a Wolfe Ridge dealer now.
We are one of the few Wolfe Ridge dealers, and this brand continues to impress me with everything that shows up. I mean, it is beautifully built equipment. Like, I love the purpose-built, highly engineered stuff, and the stuff that they make is amazing.
Look at the size of this one. It's got a Kubota diesel on it.
Yeah. I'm learning all about log stuff as we go here, because your firewood world has not been where I live for a long time, right? But
it is now.
It is now. Yeah. So box wedge machine here that's going to shove your logs through that box that makes nicely shaped stuff coming out the middle of it.
This thing is incredible.
Yeah, diesel engines, and then the half of our deliveries from Wolfe Ridge are sold before they get here. In most
Are all
cases.
these units sold?
All these are sold.
Really?
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of verticals. We're selling almost as many vertical splitters as we have been horizontals, which you showed me a vertical splitter when I was at your place.
Yeah, I use both. And the industry seems to be going a little bit more towards the vertical stuff now, you know, and it's just, personally, I like a vertical splitter. These machines here, to use them effectively, you need 2 people. They're so much faster than 1 person, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it seems that the vertical one's a little bit better for just a one-man operation, and you can size all your wood specifically how you want it with the vertical one, easier than with one of these.
Yeah, and then probably 2/3 of the verticals that we've been selling have been going with the conveyor attached to the unit already.
Yep.
As opposed to a separate conveyor. It's 1/3 of the price of buying a separate conveyor, and it's attached and right there and powered by the same engine and everything.
All this fit on one load when they bring it in?
So it fits on one load. So we're getting loads from them almost monthly at this point, and they definitely get creative. So they have racks and stuff that we can stack multiple splitters on top of each other. A lot of Wolfe Ridge making sense for a dealer like ourselves is that freight side of things.
Yeah.
It's really expensive to get one of these made at Wolfe Ridge's factory and shipped to your home.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm paying $4,000 for a truckload to come here to Messick's, but I'm putting a dozen splitters on it, right?
Right.
So it contains the shipping costs a little bit more than
you'd probably have $800 or $1,000 having one just shipped
to your home,
to you.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's given us, you know, we've got people coming from hours away to come here and pick them up for some of that freight savings. It's more efficient than trying to get one from Wolfe Ridge directly. So, cool company, cool people, and like I said, the products are awesome.
They really are. Yeah, these vertical, I don't think I've seen one up close with the conveyor on it. Yeah, these are I've sold more firewood this summer, Neil, for some reason. People are buying early this year. I don't know why.
In July. As hot as it's been, that's the last thing I've been thinking about.
I was delivering wood, it was 95 degrees.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, these are quite the machine. Very cool. What do we have wrapped in plastic here, Neil?
So it's an offset hydraulic tilt flail mower.
Wow, that's a mouthful there.
So yes, flails are great. I mean, like years ago, you used to sell tons of rotary cutters behind tractors, and that really has shifted towards flail mowers.
So breastwork of a pond would be fantastic. Sides of driveways, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the kinds of tricky spots where, you know, you can't usually get a mower into. It's small enough, like a tractor like yours is ideal for this, right? The head's about 52 inches wide, and so it's not too much weight that you can't actually swing it out over the side.
What kind of PTO horsepower you need to run this right?
Real flails are really low. So 15 to 20 is probably the minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, cool stuff. We're doing the same thing we did last time, you know?
I can't help myself when I come out here. There's just so much stuff out here.
You end up at the candy store, and it's fun just to walk around and see what you find.
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole side would be stuff going into the shop that needs to be prepped, that's going to go out to a customer. And that side is the stuff that's done, that's just waiting to be delivered.
I gotcha.
So machines like this 4020, right, this would have been sitting out on the lot. You see there's nothing on it. Somebody else is going to be picking up one of these, and we would need to go through and do that final prep of putting the accessories and stuff on it.
How many horsepower is this New Holland here, do you know?
That is a Power Star 75.
75.
Yeah, so that size tractor runs up to 110. So we always got to kind of peek on the side of the hood.
How do you keep track of everything, Neil? I've never asked you a question you didn't know the answer to. I'm going to come up with something.
Inventory, like a lot of tracking in the computer.
Yeah.
Right. So inventory stickers and that kind of stuff to kind of keep ID numbers on everything, so we know what it is and what it costs.
Yeah.
But we do rightly spend a lot of time walking and looking around here because things do get misplaced.
Now, if someone like supply chain stuff, if someone would order a New Holland like this, how long would it take, do you think?
Most equipment now from all of our vendors is kind of back to that 3 to 4 month time frame for us to get fresh stuff from the factory.
Yeah.
We keep usually 7 to 8 months worth of stuff here at the store.
Now, do the farm guys, do they order stuff like Christmas for spring? Or
Yeah. There's a lot of seasonality in big ag, and most of that equipment, we stock a little bit of it, but a lot of it is pre-sold because there's so much configuration and stuff for specific crops.
There's no sense stocking it.
You'll never get it right. Right. So pre-sale is the norm with really big equipment.
That's a nice looking tractor though.
Yeah, they make a really nice tractor. There's a Workmaster series of more like economy oriented stuff, and then a Power Star series of like deluxe nice tractors.
Okay.
And the one thing that we always like about C&H stuff is the interiors are way more automotive grade than what a lot of other tractor companies are. It just they finish the cab really nicely.
So this is remote control.
We're seeking out the unique and weird today, right? Remote control. So we would sell a lot of equipment to highway departments.
Yeah.
And if you're, a highway department maintaining like really crazy hillsides and that kind of stuff that you can't safely put another piece of equipment on or reach it with a boom mower, there are industrial remote controlled mowers.
So this has like cleats on the rubber tracks.
Cleats on the tracks. It's like 75 horsepower from memory.
That's a powerhouse for something that size.
This is hydraulically powered implements. You can get like snow blowers and stuff for it if you want, and the operator basically just stands with a remote control. Actually, here it is.
I'm sure it's very pricey, but just from a liability standpoint, you have a guy get hurt on a slope. You know what I mean?
Right. It's supposed to be. Joe homeowner isn't buying these things, right? So this is usually budgeted government stuff.
So that's the remote.
That's the remote. Yeah, so you sit here and drive with the sticks. And, if you have a application for it and this is the only way to get stuff done, sometimes it makes sense, right? And you don't see everybody with one of these, This will go to a highway department that's probably taking care of a several county area.
Yeah. What is it, a 6-foot cutter on it?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, cool looking thing.
This one's in 3 big pieces.
Yeah, so this is what a tractor looks like split in half, right? When you really need to get into the guts of stuff, the techs that are able to do this are just amazing people to me. But he's rebuilding a transmission in this case.
And you guys are set up here, obviously. Way better doing it in here, too, than out in the field somewhere, trying to do that out in the field.
Yeah, I mean, you can work a lot faster when you have the right tools and the setup for things. So when we designed a shop, you'll find like the overhead beam here runs down the middle of the bay, and so they can suspend the different pieces of the tractor to be able to disassemble it and slide everything right back together using hoists, right? But cool. This would be clutch. Help me here.
Well, these are range clutches.
Okay, so that's
low, medium.
That's the range clutch.
The speed clutches are already in. They're
okay.
So these are ranges and reverse.
Okay, ranges and reverser.
How much ballpark? How much time do you have in rebuilding a transmission, breaking it down, start to finish? Any idea?
It's a couple weeks.
Yeah, I bet. It's quite a project.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and on and off a lot too, because like in
the busy season,
right
out on the road, emergency service call, whatever.
Yeah, so we're usually juggling 2 jobs at the same time. So like you're just going out and working on equipment that's out on the field because we're in season right now, so that kind of takes priority in a lot of cases. Balers, whatever, right? And then when we come off the road, we'll have a job going in the shop like this that is what you go back to when you're not out working in the field.
Right.
But yeah, awesome to see this stuff torn apart and just kind of give you an appreciation for all the, why things cost what they do.
Yeah.
When you start looking at all the gears and hardened pieces and clutches and everything that goes into making this stuff work. You need to make that a standard option.
Yeah, I love the green color.
Yeah, I keep ordering stuff in green because I think it looks awesome.
It does.
But I'd love to see them actually make it not an upcharge choice because it looks awesome.
It's pretty cool seeing a Wisconsin company here in Eastern PA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, they've branched out a little bit and they keep going. But the other, what else is different here? So, I mean, like a lot of the 28 Pros go out. That's the most popular model and kind of like value for your dollar is the best choice. But they do make small ones like this too. This is a 17 RS.
Yeah, they call it like a resplit.
A resplit, yeah. And I think we'll find some people actually choose this as their primary splitter. Like if you're looking to kind of get into this kind of build quality, but do it at a more economical price point because stuff built like this isn't cheap.
Do you have a ballpark of what the resplit sells for?
Like 50, 800, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And that's a heck of a machine for that now. Do you remember when like the big box store splitters
Yes.
were like $900? That ship has sailed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That is over with.
There was a period where, gosh, this is our heyday for log splitters. Tractor Supply dropped the contract with their supplier, and the supplier had all kinds of stuff built, and we were able to get log splitters and retail them for like $1,000 for like a 27-ton whatever. But yeah, I mean that's one. This is nothing like that product.
No.
Right.
No.
But yeah, that ship has kind of sailed of having some of these cheap options.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I have a 17-ton splitter at home, and it looks nothing like this.
No.
I think the tonnage on these things is one of those things that you should be a little suspect of how it's measured.
Yeah.
Because I'd say this probably would run circles around mine.
Yeah, that green, boy, that'd be a nice color for a truck right there, to tell you the truth. I like that.
Yeah. It is sharp.
So this for more farming purposes or construction?
Both. Yeah, we would have customers that buy fuel trailers like this out of every industry. If you have like an industrial application, you're basically chasing equipment around, you know, be it combines, forage harvesters, big excavators, dozers, that kind of stuff. Having a trailer like this to pull around makes a lot of sense. So, you know, if you're filling DEF, they'd have DEF tanks up here in the front. They have toolboxes and stuff on board to be able to keep your tools with you. Diesel pumps for the center section here. And
what's around back?
Around back, I believe, would be the gas pump, the pumps. Oh, air compressor.
Air compressor.
We stock some common configurations of these things, but it's one of those products that is heavily customized for the person that's buying it.
Right. Yeah, that's nice.
But $28,000
Yeah.
for something like this. So not cheap, but also like you start measuring uptime and that kind of stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
And it is a support tool, right,
Yep.
for keeping equipment running.
And this thing's supporting, you know, $500,000 equipment.
Right.
There. You know, it's all relative. You know what I mean?
That's right. In the grand scheme of things, it's a small investment in uptime.
All right, so I just made it home. Got the boss here checking things out. And by the way, this land plane, I wasn't planning on getting one today, but I figured I had room on the trailer, so I got a hold of Neil on the way out, which is why it's not put together, but it's very simple to wrap that up. But what do you think of the tractor, Melissa?
I love it.
Last tractor I'll ever buy.
Yeah, I've heard you say that. And here's what my mind does. My mind says, psh, that's like you say, meaning I'm talking to myself. Like, you'll never eat chocolate again.
I'm serious, it's the last
That might happen like for a whole week. I could probably go a whole week and not have chocolate.
I'm telling you, it's the last one. I've got this figured out.
Well, then what, are you going to buy me one? Like what?
No, we're done with, we got everything, everything's in place. I'll put it that way. It's pretty nice, isn't it?
I love it.
It is nice.
I do love it.
Yeah.
I just look at it and smile.
All right, so I think we'll wrap this video up. You want to?
Okay. Thanks so much for being here.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one.